afternoon, folks. My name is Mike Jenkins, and I'm with NB United. NB United was formed in March of 2021 by Manhattan Beach residents who share a commitment to fostering a community that is engaged, inclusive, and welcoming. NB United's mission is to encourage a welcoming atmosphere in our city for people of all backgrounds, to advocate for greater diversity, and to educate our residents about ways that public policy and practices have contributed to disparities based on race. Please visit our table in the courtyard to learn more and to sign up for our terrific bi-monthly newsletter. You can also look for us on Facebook, Instagram, and on our website, www.mbunited.info. Before I introduce our next speaker, I want to remind everybody that we have fabulous food from the Savage Taco Truck out front, and we've got great ice cream on the back patio, so after this next speaker, don't get up now. Because we have one more speaker before we listen to the music.
I'll keep it short.
It's okay. Don't be that hungry. But the ice cream folks out there are kind of hidden in the back, so be sure to visit them and get some delicious New Zealand or Australian or something ice cream. It is my privilege to introduce our next speaker, Sion Roy. He is a physician here at the South Bay, and he is the Vice President of the Santa Monica Community College Board of Trustees. Please welcome Sion Roy.
How's it going, Rancho Palos Verdes? So thank you so much for having me. I'm a Santa Monica College trustee, and then I'm also a physician down here at Harbor UCLA, cardiologist. Serves as catchment area, and I'm also a former Dem Club president, 3 different Dem clubs. And so I wanted to, I did what you did, your inspirational role many years ago. And so Kenny had emailed me about talking a little bit about my journey in advocacy and how we, get from one place to another, because that journey can be really intimidating, and most of us come to that journey when we're in a vulnerable place. And so, for me, I grew up in a very politically engaged family. My grandfather in India was a U.S. State Department employee who advised the U.S. State Department on, the politics of India. And so, as you can imagine, my immigrant family in Phoenix, Arizona, politics was at our dinner table, which my wife hates now. But politics was at our dinner table. We watched the news every night as a kid. And I formed the first high school Democrats at my high school in Arizona, and then I was college Democrats president at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. After that, I still was passionate about advocacy, but for many years I went to medical school, I went to residency, and I took an absence from that because life became difficult. The education process was so intensive. And my wife and I, we moved to Santa Monica, about 15 years ago. And I remember she talked to me, she was like, "You're so passionate about advocacy, about engaging with government. You talk about it all the time. You need to get back in and do something." And this was at a less vulnerable spot for our state, for ourselves, and our country. This was before Trump. This was, in the early 2010s. And I remember I just did a very simple thing. I searched Santa Monica and Democratic Party. And I looked to get engaged locally with the party that I'd always engaged with. And my wife totally regrets that she advised me to do that at that time. But I got great mentorship, and I also, engaged with healthcare advocates. I became president of both the Santa Monica Democratic Club, and I became president of the LA County Medical Association several years ago at the onset of COVID. And, as people come into this immensely vulnerable time that we're in, we've been in a vulnerable time since 2016, vulnerable in our homes, in our community, in our democracy. But this weekend feels more vulnerable, and shocking than it has any time in the last 8-10 years. And what I would say is just start. For those of you who are new to this, and many of you are such experienced activists, electeds, and leaders, but some of you are here because you feel threatened and you want to see what you can do and how you can partner with people in your community. And it is just about starting. It's about going to these booths and finding the club that aligns with your values, getting to know that club, and getting into leadership in that club. And I say that because leaders in the clubs are the ones that do the work. And that's who we need. We need people who are willing to do the work as we go forward. And I see I have 1 minute left, and I'll just leave you with this. There was a forum at Malibu Democratic Club, and many of you know I'm running for state senate in a district that comes out to here. And there was a forum among the many candidates, and one of the questions was, how will you stand up to the Trump administration? And my answer then, and it's the same now, it is not to engage on every whim of this irrational president, not to respond to every tweet, not to respond to everything on Truth Social. It's to put your constituents first, put your community first, and engage and resist where it makes sense to make the daily lives of our community members better. And that includes this weekend. As ICE and our National Guard have escalated violence in our communities, it does not make us safer, it makes us less safe. And our job is to not only protect our community members, our neighbors, the people who go to school with us, any immigrant population in our community, but it's also to raise our voice so that people in other areas of the country know what's going on and know that we're doing something about it, and know that over the next 2 and 4 and 6 years, we will lead with our values and we will save our democracy. Thank you very much.